Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us for Access City Council. I'm David Riggleman, Communications Director for the City of Las Vegas. Coming up on this show, Remembering 9/11. We show you how our city marked the 17th anniversary of the terrorist attack on our country. And police officers are honored for their work with at-risk youth in our community. Here to talk about these stories and more is the councilman who represents Ward 4. You know who it is. Stavros Anthony, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me, David.
How are you?
I'm doing great. It's finally cooling down a little bit. It's not 100, it's not 115 anymore, so it's the fall, and looking forward to Halloween and some cooler days, but things are going great, thank you.
Things are busy in Ward 4. You're going to see we have a packed show, a lot going on out there. For those of you who don't know exactly where Ward 4 is located, we're going to help you get your bearings a little bit. It's out in the northwest area of the valley, west of US 95, north of Summerlin Parkway. If you live in that area, work in that area, then you are in Ward 4 in this city of Las Vegas. And you got a little bit of Ward 4 that actually sticks out to the east of 95 there. But generally, those are the boundaries. And again, you're represented by Stavros Anthony. A lot going on in Ward 4. We're going to jump right in.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people probably know this. Maybe you don't. Councilman Anthony is a former Metro police officer, retired as a captain after 29 years with the force. A lot of 9/11 ceremonies that take place here involve him because of his connection with the police department here. And I thought a couple of these were really poignant. Wanted to talk about them on the show today. You tweeted this out. I liked it. You said, "Thank you to the 1013 Club, former NYPD, for continuing to remember all those first responders who died 17 years ago in a terrorist attack on this country." And a lot of people may not know this, Councilman, but there are a lot of retired first responders from all over the country, including New York, that live here in Las Vegas now.
Yeah, there are. There's quite a few NYPD officers that have moved out here, and to their credit, well, when they came together, they formed this 1013 Club just to get their members together to talk about things. And I'm honored to have Police Memorial Park in my ward. And several years back, we put that plaque to honor the 9/11 victims. And every year, I have to commend them. Every year they have a 9/11 ceremony where they get together, they invite me out there, some other dignitaries, and we just talk about what happened that day. We talk about the victims, we talk about the heroes, the police officers, the firefighters, the paramedics, and we just remember what happened that day, because that's what it's all about, is not forgetting the people that died that day, to remember that we were attacked. We had a terrorist attack on our land, and we responded to it, and we're still recovering from it. There are actually first responders that are still passing away from actually going to that event that day.
From illnesses, right?
Many years ago. So I just want to thank the 1013 Club and these retired police officers that keep this tradition going every single year, and they do it in my ward. I'm honored to have them and thank them for having me come out and speak.
Yeah. Those folks saw it firsthand. Not only was it an attack on our country, but it was an attack on their city where they lived, and tough, really tough.
And the thing we talk about all the time is these are men and women in uniform that ran to those burning towers. They went there to save lives. They put their own life on the line, and some of them didn't make it out. And that's what we do. We remember them, and we have that plaque there, and we'll continue doing that every year as far as I'm concerned.
Councilman, tell people where Police Memorial Park is located if they're not exactly sure.
Yeah, it's on Cheyenne by Hualapai. It's right behind the Northwest Area Command. It's a great park to, they have a dog park there. You can walk your dogs. There's pickleball courts there. There's plenty of things to do as a park. But when you go there, you can tell there's something different going on there. There's a sculpture to remember the federal, state, and local law enforcement officers that have died in the line of duty in southern Nevada. If you go down into the Grove, every one of their names is on a rock. You can remember them. Some of them you may know personally, some of them you may never have heard of, but you can go there and pay your respects. So it's really a dual purpose. Every year we have the Southern Nevada Law Enforcement Memorial Ceremony at that park. So go there to take your kids and have a great time and have a picnic. And if you'd like to just remember the officers that died in the line of duty protecting this community, you can do that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Along those same lines, Councilman, you tweeted this out. You said, "Honored to be with a member of the Vancouver Fire Department who traveled to New York to help in the aftermath of 9/11 at the Ma Museum." Now, Why were these folks in Las Vegas, Councilman?
Well, this is interesting. I'd never heard of this. These Vancouver Fire Department officers, after 9/11, traveled to New York. They went there as first responders. They wanted to help out. They ended up becoming personally involved in some NYPD police officers and firefighters. So every year, 9/11, they come together. The Vancouver Fire Department, the NYPD, they come together again to remember that day, to remember the officers. And this year they came down to Las Vegas. They were invited by the Mob Museum to have a kind of a speakers circuit. So the officers that were there actually the day of 9/11, who some of them actually responded. There was about 6 or 7 at the Mob Museum, gave their personal stories.
Wow.
And it was very interesting and very impactful and very emotional for some of them because they still remember. And it was there that they mentioned that they have retirees that are still dying from illnesses from responding that day. So it's just, it's great to see these traditions stick to remember an event such as 9/11. And it was at the Mob Museum, and it was a nice turnout to listen to what they had to say.
Yeah. And this is Vancouver, Canada. We're talking about here, not Vancouver, Washington.
Yep.
So we want to thank our brothers and sisters across the border in Canada for being a part of that and helping us through a very difficult day and certainly even years that followed.
And obviously there were 9/11 events all over the city of Las Vegas that day, and those were 2 that I was honored to be part of.
Yeah. Well, good deal, Councilman. Love this too. You, kind of a police-related thing, you had a First Tuesday event out at Centennial Hills Park. You partnered with Councilwoman Fiore on this. September 4th, we called it Tour of the World. It was an opportunity for all the various cultures here in Las Vegas to showcase what they're all about and to help others learn about their culture. And this was a great event because it was an opportunity. It was all rolled into First Tuesday, which is an opportunity for the police department and the community to get to know each other.
Yeah, so every First Tuesday is an event that Metro has at every one of their substations. So people come to the substations, there's an event. So Councilwoman Fiore and I decided let's do something a little different. So we held it at her park. You can see it was a beautiful day out. We had lots of things for the kids. We had food trucks, and it was just another way to bring the community together with our police officers from Metro, our city marshals from the city of Las Vegas, with all the different ethnic groups, so we can all learn from each other. You know, what are the Greeks thinking about? What are the Hispanics thinking about? What's the Asian community thinking about? And it was a fun event. It was a little something different, and saw a lot of people interacting with our uniformed officers, getting to know each other, getting to spend some time with me, with Councilman Fiore. Clark County Commissioner Marilyn Kirkpatrick came out and walked around, and we ended up talking to a lot of folks that day, just so that we get to know each other personally. There's a lot less barriers in life when you get to really know other people and their cultures and what they're thinking about and some of the things that influence them. And we talked to some folks that were having some problems in their neighborhood that we were able to fix. So next month it'll be back at Northwest Area Command, but this was something to kind of mix it up a little bit, make it a little bit
Great
different.
idea.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
You know, it's funny how you talk about that, Councilman. When you meet people from other groups, different ethnic groups, rather than becoming part of the group, they become just people like everybody else. It's interesting how that works. It's a great idea. It looks like it was a lot of fun out there.
It was. It was a lot of partnership with the county and the city, and our city staff stepped up and helped us put this together. And it was well attended, and again, it's just a great way to interact on a informal basis. Some people are scared to talk to police officers because they have a uniform and a big gun and the taser. But when you get them in a park, it seems like it's easier to walk up and talk to somebody, and that's what the whole point was.
Right, exactly. Well, speaking of the police department, you also tweeted this out. You said, honored to recognize the 500 great volunteers with the LVMPD, that's Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department volunteer program, as my September Citizens of the Month. And there were quite a few Citizens of the Month, but we'll do that from time to time.
Well, as you know, David, each one of us on the City Council get to recognize our Citizen of the Month. So I thought of every event I go to, there's always some Metro volunteers there.
That's right.
And I said, well, why not recognize all 500 of them that are volunteers? And I did, and I mean, obviously all 500 couldn't come down, but there was a good portion. Sharon Harding is the volunteer coordinator with Metro, and I was able to talk about the hundreds of thousands of hours they put into volunteering. These are people that just become part of Metro as volunteers to go to events to help out. And they put in hundreds of thousands of hours. Assistant Sheriff Hank was there to recognize them, and just got to introduce them to our city council and the mayor and the community. And I mean, some of the things they do, which is interesting, is they have the authority to write handicap parking citations.
That's right.
They're goodwill ambassadors on the in our tourist corridor as well as McCarran Airport. They help out with homeless people. They help out at headquarters. I could go on some of the things they do just to help our community and help represent Metro and help represent the city. So the 500 volunteers of the MVP program are all citizens of the month for a couple more days in the city of Las Vegas in September. So it was just great to bring them out, and they don't get a lot of recognition. This was a good way for me to do that.
Yeah, for sure, all the way around. And I want to thank all you volunteers. All the volunteers, no matter what you volunteer for, we thank you, because a lot of what we do in the city we couldn't do without people like you stepping up and helping us out.
And if you see them wearing a yellow jacket, you know they're with the Metro Volunteer Program. That's their kind of an insignia. And McGruff was there, and everybody wanted to take a picture with McGruff. So it was nice to recognize them. Yeah. Absolutely.
If you see him in the future, tell him thanks. So, and Councilman, keeping our theme of the police here, I love this. You said this on Twitter as well, recognizing the Southern Nevada Police Athletic League for the work their volunteers do to bring together at-risk youth and police officers to develop positive life skills. Great program. Tell everybody about this.
So this actually started back east. It was the Police Athletic League. Boston, New York started it in 1996. They formed it at the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. This is retired Captain Bob Chin, who's one of the board members, and they bring kids together with police officers in athletic events and sporting events and get them to deal with each other. That's Chris Campbell, the president of the Police Athletic League, and it's a way, again, we talked about breaking down barriers. Right. Kids sometimes are intimidated, a lot of times, by police officers. And they don't necessarily want to report a crime or want to report being a victim because they don't understand the police or they don't trust the police. So this is a great way to bring young kids with police officers. It actually began with boxing. That's kind of the biggest one, is boxing. But they branched out into a lot of sports. So kids dealing with volunteer police officers off duty, working together, and the kids build trust with law enforcement officers, and a lot of these kids end up being police officers when they grow up. So it's a great program. If you'd like to volunteer or help out, you know, you can get a hold of the Police Athletic League. If you'd like to volunteer, anyone can really be a volunteer. Obviously, it's police officers that do most of it, but it's again, it's kind of breaking down barriers and letting kids know that the police are the good guys, and they want to help them out and they want to protect them. And if they're a victim, they know who to go to.
Yeah. Well, the kids get to know the police get to know the kids, and it's a win-win all the way around.
So it was nice just to bring them down and recognize them at a city council meeting and let them know we appreciate what they're doing for the kids in our community.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. And Councilman, I love this too. You tweeted this out. You said you were the guest speaker at the Mark Carey Elementary School Community Block Party talking about respect and bullying. And this is a big topic here in our community. You hear so many stories, sometimes very tragic, about kids who've been bullied, and you're doing something about it with these folks there.
Yeah, this is Principal McLaughlin from Mark Carey Elementary School. Again, if you don't know Mark Carey, the school's named after a police officer that was killed in the line of duty many, many years ago. And every year they get the kids out and the parents and the staff and the teachers, and they talk to kids about bullying and why they shouldn't bully and why they should respect each other, and if they do see bullying or someone disrespecting another kid, how to report it. And honored to be out there and chat with them and get to have a little fun with these kids and talk to them about personal experience as a law enforcement officer, about how you need to protect each other and show respect for each other, and really, if you see something bad going on, you need to report it to somebody so it can stop. We have plenty of kids out there that are, they have family problems and there are issues that they deal with, but when they go to school, they should feel safe there. And if something is happening in their home life, they should feel comfortable to tell a teacher about it or a staff member so we can help them out. So it was a lot of fun. We handed out water bottles and the kids were dancing and they had the canine kickers out there from Mark Carey. It was a lot of fun, but there was some serious discussion going on. Yep.
It's interesting, Councilman, talking about bullying. Every generation has experienced it, but this current generation, it's magnified for them, because in our day, you could get away from it once you got maybe away from school or away from the neighborhood, wherever the bullies were hanging out. But today, with social media, with cell phones, smartphones, it's with you. It can be with you 24/7.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, in our day, it would be a little scuffle at the school, and then you'd get up and shake the dirt off and shake each other's hand. But now it could be 24/7.
Yeah.
And it can be devastating to a kid, because social media is so important to these kids today.
Sure.
So we need to let them know that this doesn't have to happen, and you can report it, and we can stop it.
And we're going to do something about it. Yeah. Exactly
So hats
right.
off to Mark Carey Elementary School for stepping up and talking to these kids personally about these issues.
Yeah, good stuff. Good deal. Councilman, I love this too. You tweeted this out on Twitter. You said, congratulations to Dee and her new Thai restaurant, Lemongrass and Lime, in the city of Las Vegas at Durango and 95. Great food. And not only that, we love when new businesses open in our city.
Yeah, this is a lot different than 10 years ago.
Oh, you're not kidding.
Businesses were closing down, so it's great to see another business opening. This is just a family business. They're opening up a Thai restaurant. It's at Durango and 95 in the Sprout Shopping Center.
Yep.
The food was absolutely phenomenal. You could see, there was a picture of it. I mean, the display is really nice. So they called them and said, we're opening up for the grand opening. So I went out there and gave them a certificate. And it's just nice to see families opening up these businesses and helping our community prosper. And they had 5, 6, 7 people that they put to work. So
10 years ago, when we were moving into the recession, it was far from that. Businesses were closing up. It was a scary time for everyone financially, but now it's the opposite. We're through it, and we've got new places opening, and can't wait to check them out.
Yeah, and this is up in the northwest part of the valley too, so there's a lot of things happening up there. So Lemongrass and Lime at 95 in Durango, go out and support the family, and you're going to have some great Thai food.
Yeah, I love the name too. Sounds good. Councilman, you tweeted this. You said, great to be invited by NAIOP, Commercial Real Estate Development Association, as part of their speed dating event with elected officials and answer excellent questions. So you got to tell me about the whole speed dating thing. Explain that, please.
When I was invited, I had to find out what it was so I could tell my wife I wasn't out dating, But it's an interesting concept. This was for their members, their commercial real estate members, and again, they want to learn what's going on in southern Nevada. They want to learn what's the dynamics going on between local government and the commercial development industry. So they had 10 tables and 4 or 5 of their members at each table, and every 5 minutes we would switch around. So I was out there, Councilwoman Fiore was out there, Mayor Deborah March from Henderson. And we would spend 5 minutes and we would just talk about water issues and transportation issues and what's going on at the city of Las Vegas, what's going on at Clark County, what's going on in Henderson. And it was actually pretty interesting. They had some great questions, and we hopefully gave them some good answers. And but that's what the speed dating.
Hence the speed dating.
You get to have a date with 4 or 5 of their members for 5 minutes as you go around to each table. So it was a great way to get information out to their members about what's going on in Southern Nevada from a local government standpoint.
So different from Match.com and
yes,
all that.
Well, I had, like I said, I had to clear that. So when I posted that, my wife didn't think I
Yeah.
was actually out dating.
And Bernadette throw you out for good on that one. So good stuff. That's an interesting concept. Yeah,
Yeah.
you'd get to visit with everybody in the room. Everybody could ask questions
Yeah.
and then move on to the next, so that everyone have a chance to talk with everyone. Smart.
Yeah, so instead of having a big group discussion, they actually got to ask individual questions, and the topics could move around based on what people were interested in. So I would encourage any association out there that wants to do something like that to take a look at it, contact NAOP. I'm sure they'll tell you exactly how they set it up, and I'd be glad to participate. It was nice that they called me up just to get
Sure.
a perspective from the city of Las Vegas.
What were the questions they were asking? What were they most interested in?
They, like I said, there was. They want to talk about water. They want to talk about transportation. They want to talk about land use. They wanted to talk about. They wanted to give us feedback on how local government's doing when it comes to helping them develop the valley. You know, they wanted to talk about what the budget issues are. So they were very good questions, and it was just a lot of back and forth discussion. And it was a very diverse group, a lot of people from different areas. So it was interesting. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, good stuff. Great idea, great concept.
Yep.
Councilman, couldn't let this go by without mentioning it on Access City Council. You tweeted this: best lamb chops in Las Vegas, St. John Greek Food Festival tonight, Saturday and Sunday. And of course, this is a tradition. You are of Greek descent, so this is a big weekend for you.
Yeah, this was a few days back, and I was on the Alan Stock show on Friday, and we had some Metro volunteers out
it's
there.
all tying together, folks.
At the church, we actually kicked off the Greek Food Festival for a torch run, where we actually raised money for the Leukemia Foundation. There was quite a few of our media sponsors out there. But most of the time I was out there cooking lamb chops. So if you wanted a lamb chop and you didn't come out to the food festival, you missed out. They were absolutely awesome.
Wait till next year.
And it was a great turnout. I just want to thank everybody that came out to the food festival and had a great time, and assure them every single penny they spent out there goes to the Greek church to help us out with our Greek community. And it's a great way for us to give back to the community and let them know that we're proud of our heritage, but we are honored to be in Las Vegas, and let them know that we have the best lamb chops, we have the best gyros, we have the best Greek beer, and a little bit of ouzo is good for you. Not too much, though.
It's a great weekend. Not too much, definitely not. Councilman, for those that don't know, you are of Greek descent. Your parents moved here. They're Greek Cypriots from the island of Cyprus to the United States. Did very well in life, and now their son is a city councilman in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yeah, it's the American way. People come here from all over the world with absolutely nothing in their pockets, and they get a job and they raise a family, and they want their kids to do better than they did, and hopefully my kids will do better than I did, and that's kind of the circle of life as far as the American dream is concerned. So, so this is a way for us to let people know that the Greek community's here, and we want to be part of this community and want to share our culture.
Yeah, good stuff. Thank you. Well, thanks for doing it. It looks like it's always a lot of fun every year, and the food is fantastic.
It is.
Councilman, some things coming up. I want to tell everybody about some events that we want to make sure that you're aware of. October 2nd, National Night Out. We're going to do this out at Mountain Crest Park. And if you're thinking to yourself, well, didn't we just do National Night Out in August? Yeah, a lot of communities do, but in the areas of the country where it's still really hot in August, we'll do it in October.
Right.
Las Vegas and Florida are a couple of those places, for example. So
yeah, this is a great one because we partnered up with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, the city of Las Vegas, obviously, and then Clark County.
Yep.
So I'll be out there. Councilman Fiore will be out there. Commissioner Brown will be out there. Commissioner Kirkpatrick, Captain Sasha Larkin from Metro, and again. It's just an informal way for people to get together and meet their police officers and city marshals and their elected officials, and we all just kind of sit around and talk and find out what's going on.
Yep.
What are some of the great things happening? What are the issues that we still need to tackle? And come on out that night. You'll have a good time. And like you said, October 2nd, it will be a little bit cooler out.
Yeah, I hope so. We're due for that. So again, great way to meet your neighbors and the police officers, the first responders who cover your neck of the woods, your area of town.
We'll have some hot dogs and water and popcorn, and you can bring the kids out, and you'll have a fun night. And again, it's at Mountain Crest Park, which is actually in Clark County, but butts up against Ward 4 and Ward 6.
Perfect. Good deal. Thank you, Councilman. And then you've got Coffee with a Cop, October 8th. Want to tell everybody about that. Again, an informal setting. If you want to just meet and talk with the police officers that are going to patrol your area of town, Councilman Anthony always attends these. It's going to be Monday, October 8th from 9 to 10:30 at the Omlin House up there on North Rampart. That's in the Smith Shopping Center there at Rampart and Lake Mead.
And you'll have a great breakfast. The Almond House puts out some great food.
Yeah, they're great food and convenient location and very informal, just over a cup of coffee, over some breakfast, and chat about what's going on in your neighborhood. They're all ears. And then, Councilman, you're going to be busy on October 19th. You've got 2 trunk or treats going on on the same day and the same evening. The first one is going to be Friday, October 19th, 6 o'clock over at Police Memorial Park for a trunk or treat and movie in the park out at that one, Transylvania 3, Hotel Transylvania 3. And then the second event is going to be at the YMCA trunk or treat. That's going to be Friday, October 19th, 6 o'clock also, Durango Hills Community Center. That's at North Durango. It's kind of near Cheyenne and Durango. So what are you going to do, like split back and forth? Or
I'm going to, just like in Halloween, I'll become a ghost. I'll disappear at one and go to the other one.
You're going to have to.
Never even know. So it'll be a fun night. If you want to take some time to see a movie, then go to Police Memorial Park. If you don't have time to see a movie, go to the Y, and we're going to have candy and a lot of fun at both of them. So I will try to transport myself from one to the other as quickly as possible, because I love seeing the kids all dressed up. I actually like seeing the adults all dressed up too.
They do,
which is a lot of fun.
I know, they get into it as well. So, all right, so October 19th, folks, that's a Friday evening, 6 o'clock, either location. Come out and enjoy it. Again, it's always free and a lot of fun. So, well, Councilman, I want to tell everybody out there, hey, we always want to hear from you. So if you have something you'd like to share with Councilman Anthony, you can find him on Facebook and Twitter. And you saw he is all over social media. And if you leave a comment, we may use your post on our next show. We'd love to hear from you. You can also contact the councilman just by picking up the phone, 702-229-6405, or send him an email. His address is santhony@lasvegasnevada.gov, and he will get back to you. Good work.
Well, this is what it's about. I love being in the community and talking to folks and finding out what's happening in my ward and in Clark County and everybody else's ward. So I'm not shy about going anywhere.
You are not.
I love talking to folks. So good to have you at these events, and look forward to seeing you at future ones. And
sounds good.
Tell us how the city of Las Vegas is doing. That's what we want to hear about.
That's exactly right. All right, well, great job. We'll have you back here in 6 weeks with another update from Ward 4. In the meantime, we want to thank you for joining us for this edition of Access City Council. Don't miss our next show beginning on October 4th with Ward 2 City Councilman Steve Soroka. And don't forget, you can watch us live on the internet at kclv.tv. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time around.